Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, so today we are bringing you the must-know tips and tricks for the Galaxy S22 Ultra to save you over 5 hours of battery life and make your phone so much faster. Now what you need to know is, I'm going to go at a specific pace. You can rewind if you need to, 2x it if you need to go faster, whatever you need, get it so that you do all these steps so you can have a much better experience. Plus, make sure you come back to check out how to take better videos and photos on this phone and our hidden features video. All right, without further ado, let's get started. Now for our first big feature, you want to create a Samsung account if you didn't already. Go into settings and accounts, and that is going to be a big feature to be able to give you what's called now quick sharing. Now, the whole idea behind this is that you can actually text message a 4K video. You can email thousands of photos, whatever you need to at full resolution without needing to downgrade it. This only is available on Samsung phones, not other Android phones. It's one of the best features about it that you should know. So how you use it is highlight whatever you want. So let's go over these ones. Say if I wanted to send these 4 videos, I click share and then I click quick share. Now, quick share will do a couple of things. One, if you have someone nearby that you can share with, say my Fold 3, then I could share directly to the person. So this is also for sharing nearby you, or as Apple users know it as AirDrop. What you also have is the ability they can scan a QR code if they're having trouble finding your phone for any reason. And the most important one is share in an app. This creates a link so you can then share it in whatever form you need to. So again, if you're in a group text message with iPhone users, you can use this and send them a perfect quality video. So they won't complain like, oh, I can't even see it. Well, actually, you can send them the best video. Their phones still don't have the capability, however. So you can copy the link, or again, you can share it any which way you need to. So whatever way you need to share a high resolution video or thousands of photos, you can do it all with one file share instead of having to do it in all these different formats, convert them, do anything like that. It keeps the full quality, which is even better than iMessage, which still downgrades the quality a bit. Okay, and for our next feature, I've done a full video on this, so I will link that in the description to go ahead and check that out. But if you go to the Galaxy Store, you can get a must-have app called Good Lock. So the whole idea behind this app is that it's made by Samsung and it unlocks features that you normally don't have when the phone is shipped. And this is so much better. Basically, this does eventually go to advanced settings in the phone itself when it's been out for years, but sometimes it takes forever to get there. This just gives you a fast track to use it automatically and right away. So I'm not gonna go over it fully because I have done, again, a full video on it that I will link, but it is just so much. Like for instance, you can go like this and go to a recent app. Very simple, very easily. I can also go like this and go back. There's so many different ways you can have this help your experience so that it's so much better and you just get so many more things that you don't have out of the box. Trust me, it's worth your time to invest in it. And again, I'll have the other video, which gives you more of a step-by-step look into it. All right, so from here on out, we're gonna go over all the different settings and basically tell you what to turn off and on, what will help you in battery life, and what will make your phone so much faster. So let's get started. Okay, now the first part is going to be under Wi-Fi, and first thing you should know is if you go under your settings, you can always have a QR code actually be shown so you don't have to tell anyone your password to your Wi-Fi. If they come over, you can just show them the QR code, they can scan it, bam, they're in your Wi-Fi without needing to know the password. It's a lot easier when people come over. Second thing is we're gonna wanna make sure your battery life is going to be top notch. And how we're gonna do that is if we go to advanced, first off, you should be able to switch to mobile data when you don't have a good Wi-Fi connection. So if you are, for some reason, clinging on to a Wi-Fi that you need to sign in to get to, this will make it so you don't need to really switch to that Wi-Fi. It will keep using your mobile data if it doesn't have a good signal. The other thing is turn Wi-Fi on automatically for the most frequented places. So say you're home or work, this will save you battery life again, so you don't have to remember to turn on Wi-Fi, it will remember for you. So that keeps it a lot better off. And in these other ones, just keep these on to save you battery life and to make sure you don't go onto any bad networks. Now, Wi-Fi calling is important. The one thing I want to point out is depending on your cell service at home, you either want to make sure to put cellular preferred or Wi-Fi preferred. I have pretty good cellular reception at my house, so I usually like to put cellular preferred, but I have been at homes where the person says, man, if it wasn't for Wi-Fi calling, they couldn't get signal. So in those cases, make sure your Wi-Fi preferred is on. This is what causes sometimes for you to dial and take a long time, but actually before it dials, it's usually because either you or the other person doesn't have a good signal, and switching this would fix that. Now for Bluetooth, I don't have anything particular to turn on anymore, but the one thing you should know is that you can actually connect to two Bluetooth devices at the same time. This is something that you used to have to turn on for Samsung phones, but now they just do it automatically. So you can literally pair it to two different sets of headphones and you can both listen to something at the same time. Now, obviously, the more Bluetooth headsets you connect at the same time, especially if they're older Bluetooth 4.0 than 5.0, you are going to get a bit more latency, so just know that. The newer the Bluetooth headset, the better the latency will be, but you can connect two headphones or two speakers at the same time and it will pay just fine. Okay, now this one will vary depending on your carrier, but under mobile networks, certain carriers, not all of them, will allow you to turn off 5G network. Now, here's the difference of why you might want that and why you might not want that. So first of all, LTE is going to give you a much better battery life. You will save about an hour and a half battery life switching over to LTE only instead of 5G in terms of my experience in my area. However, obviously that varies depending on your area. If you have a lot lower 5G signal and your phone is constantly trying to find it, that will definitely make it worse. So it's going to be better if you are in a higher 5G area, you should save battery life more that way, but this can save you even more than 2 hours if you're in a bad one. So based on that, obviously it saves you battery life. However, 5G, especially mid-band 5G that's now rolling out, it's rollout for T-Mobile, which I have for a while now, and you also have it in Verizon and AT&T getting now, is way faster than LTE. You're getting closer to 300 megabits per second down as opposed to 25 to 50 megabits. So depending on what you need, that is going to be more important to you. You can also always just turn on 5G when you have to do a specific thing. So say if you need to get to an area right away and you need to download a bunch of stuff, then turn on 5G for that and then turn it off otherwise. Simple and easy, and in our hidden features video, I will make sure to show you how to do that a lot quicker, so stay tuned for that. All right, now this one will save you a lot of battery life. So under data usage, there are two things that you can always check on here from time to time, and this will save you battery life in the long run, and from apps using your data in the background. So basically you can go under mobile data usage and Wi-Fi data usage and see, why is Speed Tester using so much data? Well, I can just not allow it to. It's just that simple. This is going to save you so much battery life because there's so many apps that use data in the background that you don't need them to. Now, again, if you are not using an app, you probably don't need it to run data in the background. So like for TikTok, I don't need it to run data in the background, but I don't use TikTok for getting notifications on it. So what apps wouldn't you want to use this for? Well, obvious ones such as anything that makes the phone work, like Play services, ones that you want to make sure can still use data so you get notifications like your email or text messaging or anything like that. You want to never turn those off. And again, you can always try to find them again in the apps section later to turn them back on if you need to. But these are ones that I definitely like because that way they can't do it in the background. So like all video games, I don't need them to get data in the background. So I will turn them all off from being able to get any data when I do not have them open. And that will help you out a lot in the long run. Now we'll stop apps from running entirely, but there are some apps that'll still pull little bits of data even when they're not running. So this one definitely saves you a huge amount of battery life. You're gonna get a good hour to an hour and a half more, depending on how many apps you have. Okay, for sound and vibration, the main thing you're gonna wanna do is put on a pair of headphones and change your sound quality. This is so good. So when you have adaptive sound turned on, this will basically allow you to do a hearing test when you have headphones in and basically get the perfect sound quality for you. This is something I've definitely noticed since I have passed my 30s, and it really is just so much better because it attunes to your hearing. It's a night and day difference. I guarantee you your sound quality will be 10 times better than it was before having this on. Okay, and then we get to notifications. The one thing I want you to know here is if you do keep it on brief instead of details, I personally like details more, but it depends how you want your notifications to pop up at you. If you do put the notifications on brief, you can go to brief settings and do a lighting feature. Now, a lot of people have akin this to the old-fashioned notification light. So you can really kind of put it however you want to and however you want to have it, but it's just a really cool ability to be able to play with and use as you need to. Now, I personally like this one just because I just like the effect of it, but you can go to advanced, you can do the duration longer, the transparency, everything you want to set it up, but that will definitely give you a much more consistent notification so you remember how long it is there instead of having that old dot that we used to from before. And one more thing in notifications, if you go to advanced settings, there's a couple things I recommend turning on here. 3 most recent show battery percentage, and also if you want, you can have a snooze button turned on. So basically you can snooze a notification for 10 or 15 minutes, but be reminded about it later. A lot of people do like this, so you can always remember the notifications later. I have it remind me every 15 minutes on specific apps. So if it's an email that I need to get to, I want to make sure that I remember to do it. 15 minutes later is usually a good time to remember that. All right, and then we're going to go to display. And right here, there's a couple things you're going to want to do. Dark mode. Dark mode will save you about an hour of battery life compared to light mode. That also varies depending on your wallpapers that you have and everything else. Basically, the more black you have on your screen, the more your screen is actually off. Every pixel that is black is actually the screen turned off. So that is going to save you a lot in battery life. So having that turned on, I found in my experience has saved about an hour of battery life, so really good for that purpose. The other thing I recommend, now I know Samsung made a big hoopla about adaptive brightness and all these extra features they've added to it, but I will say that it still costs you battery life because that a sensor being on does cost you more battery life. I have found that if you have it to about 70%, that is going to be a good way to always keep your brightness bright enough and make sure that you have everything you need. And this, even at 70% to 80%, will be a much better battery life compared to having adaptive brightness on, so your sensor is not constantly seeing how much light you need, brighter or darker. Now, you can also turn on extra brightness. This is really important, more so, especially if you are outside on a bright sunny day. This will take it way over 1,000 nits brightness, so that is brighter than pretty much any other phone on the market. So if you ever need to really see outside, you can definitely see it kind of go a difference right away. So this will make your phone much, much brighter in the long run. Then we go to motion smoothness. So this is something I turn on for myself, but I immediately turn off for people like my daughter, my mom, people that probably don't ever need it. Now, what this is just a smoother, faster screen. That does take your battery life down a peg though. So again, just know that you're gonna save about an hour more battery life if you have it on standard than adaptive. For people that don't notice it or don't really care about it, definitely turn it off. If you do want that fast action smoothing, then you can leave it on, but it's an hour worth of battery life. So that's up to you. All right, so the next one we're gonna go to is screen resolution. And honestly, this one, I would just recommend always putting it to the highest. It doesn't make too much of a difference when testing out 1080 to 1440p. It was like a 15-minute difference. So even 720p might save you like half an hour. For me, it's just not worth it. The clarity is so much better. So I would just keep it on the best resolution just because there's almost no difference in saving battery life. Easy mode. So easy mode is one that I do recommend for elderly. It's what I got my mom started off with, and it's what my dad used till all the time he used a cell phone. It's just basically a very simple mode, easier than an iPhone for a dead simple, easy to use smartphone. That's what you want to do if you just want an easy smartphone. Edge panels, these are really important because I love them in terms of being able to do split screen. So again, we'll get that to in our hidden features video, but it's one you should definitely know about that will get you a lot better quality when it comes to having the absolute most out of your phone. Okay, and then you just want to make sure these are set right. So accidental screen protection, make sure that that is turned on so it doesn't go off in your pocket. If you have a screen protector on, turn on touch sensitivity. I'm going to show you the best glass screen protector in a future video, so I'm going to leave that on for now. And show charging, tells you if your charger is good or not. Under navigation, I do recommend these swipe gestures, but just know you can change it to whatever you want. You can go old school and go back to the buttons too. This is where you would do it if you do want to just have those old traditional buttons. But modern Android does use more of a swipe gesture. However, Samsung has an in-between where it's still back home and recent, but you can go the full, more advanced one like this. I don't like this one though because Pixel and iOS use it, and this just makes a lot more sense in my opinion. All right, so now we are going to be moving on to the home screen. And in here, again, it might look a little bit different from yours because of good lock. I have already changed the grid to be more than you normally can do. All that again is all in good lock for all of these selections that you might not have. But the things you do want to know is I would immediately remove this. It actually slows down your home page. So I would take the left side off. This will make your home page move much quicker. Also, if you are a person that doesn't want to mistakenly delete things or move things when you're in your pocket or your purse, I would lock your home screen layout. This is something I definitely do for my mom, my daughter, ones I do not want to mess with their home screen, to leave it the way it is. This is the first thing I typically like to turn on. Also, the last must-have here is swipe down for notification panel. This just makes it easy. So when you're at the home screen, you can just swipe down and very easily get your notifications right away. Then we're going to move on to lock screen. And lock screen, there's a couple of things you want to know. First, go ahead and set up your pins and everything like that. But what you want to know about is smart lock. So smart lock is going to allow you to do a few things. And that is trusted places and trusted devices. So the first thing you're going to want to do is turn on trusted devices for your Bluetooth connection to your car. This will make it so you do not need to have a password when you're in your car, and you don't need to fumble with anything. If you need to quickly use your phone, you're not trying to look down for too long to get the fingerprint right or to get the pin in, whatever you need to. This will make it so you do not need one for those kind of scenarios. You can also do this for trusted devices such as a smartwatch. So anytime your smartwatch is connected to your phone, you won't need to put in the password. And trusted places. Maybe you never need to have a lock screen at home. Maybe you don't need to have a lock screen at work. You can actually set trusted places so you do not need a lock screen in those case scenarios. So those are the two that I would really recommend for the best security and most convenience for yourself. And one big feature I like to always recommend is always on display. I like to have it always on at all times. Now, this is up to you. This will actually save you battery life about half an hour worth if you do a tap to show instead of always show. For me, it is well worth it just because you have a much better experience when you have it on at all times. And again, one thing I recommend is turning off the auto brightness, just so again, you do not need to have it on constantly searching for your actual brightness in your room. I would just turn it down. This is fine for me. I don't need it to be that bright. I just need to be able to see everything that comes along. If it's bright sunny outside, then I'll just turn the screen on. All right, and the very next thing is going to be biometrics and security. And there's a few things you should know about here. First one is Find My Mobile. This is the second reason you want a Samsung account, simply for the fact that if you lose your device, you are going to be able to find it using your Samsung account, logged into any computer, find your device, and then lock it if need be. Second thing you're going to want to look at is Secure Folder. This is essentially having two phones in one. So two scenarios that are really good for Secure Folder is first, if you do not want your work to have access to everything on your phone, you actually log into your work account on your Secure Folder. Your employer will not know the difference, and they can actually not have access to anything else on the not secure side. So the secure side stays on its own and your personal side stays separate. Second actual part where you would want this is, say you have two types of accounts. You want a public account and a personal account. So if you want a Tinder, a Instagram that everyone knows, and maybe a private one that no one knows, or a Snapchat. It basically keeps accounts completely separated, so you literally have a login for this side and a login for this side. On the lock screen, you can actually even have one finger unlock your secure folder and one finger unlock your regular phone, and no one else would know. And then the last thing here is going to be private share. Now this is something for you and your significant other most of the time, or maybe some sensitive information that you want to make sure you control. This is a way to basically share something through an encrypted ability. So when you share a photo, you can actually make it expire, kind of like Snapchat originated. So you can share it and you can choose if it expires or revert them from even being able to look at it. This also includes, even if they downloaded it onto their device, it will actually block it from being open at that point. So this is really good if you want to share some private things. Well, keep it private. So under accounts and backup, the main thing you're going to want to do is backup using either Samsung Cloud or Google Drive. Now for Samsung Cloud, I don't recommend you back up photos just because it's going to be Microsoft's OneDrive and you're going to run out of storage very quickly. Same thing with Google Drive. If you do backup photos, use Google Photos. If you ask me which one I feel is more secure, I would say Google, especially for my photos, is the best option possible. Okay, now we're going to go to advanced features. So there's definitely some things here you should know. First is linked to Windows. This is going to allow you to text message via your phone on your computer. So basically not only that, but you can actually mirror your phone to your computer as well. There's lots of great features for this and definitely something you want to turn on if you have a Windows device. And then we're going to go into labs. So for labs, I would turn both of these on, multi-window for all apps, just so you can use split screen on all apps if need be, and also full screen so you get the full effect of your split screen. So for the S Pen, I don't really say you need to change anything that how it comes. The one really main thing I would recommend you do is warn if you leave your S Pen behind. This will have your phone beep at you and or vibrate at you if you leave your pen behind. This is always really important because if you happen to leave it behind, it will let you know. For your side key or your power button, as it should always be, make sure that's power off and double tap to launch your camera so you can access your camera right away. One-handed mode, something you should always have on. I have it on for swipe down. So basically if I swipe down, I automatically have one-handed mode very easily. Now, basically all you need to do is swipe where you want to, and then you can actually have it on either side where you need it. But this is just very convenient just to be able to have it be one-handed and very easy to use. Bixby Routines is definitely the best version of Bixby. It really helps you out in a lot of different ways. You can discover more, but here are some that I recommend. At the three places I tend to want Wi-Fi turned on: work, my mom's house, or my house, it automatically turns on. When I am driving and connected to my car's Bluetooth, then Wi-Fi turns off. When I'm gaming, I adjust the audio way down, so if I'm playing a game, no one will really know about it unless I'm on Bluetooth, then I might turn the audio on. All this is automatic, all this is very easy to set up, and there's lots of other ones you can test out, but really, really just great to automate your life. And as we scroll down, there's a couple of things you might want to know here. Video effects can be applied via the phone on any of your standard video calling features. So that's something you can do, or you can have a background image. Now, a lot of apps let you do this too, but it's nice just to have it across the phone. So you just set it up once and you don't have to set it up for each and every app that you may use for video call. Gaming launcher, you always want to turn on. It's a great way to put all your games in one place so they're not all over the place, and one simple location to play all of your games, and your phone's optimized for it. You also want to turn on video brightness to bright. This is HDR effectively on the Samsung phones. So it's a really great way of making sure that you have the best and brightest screen and you can see your content, especially dark content or night shot content. If you have this on normal, you will not be able to see it very well at all. Okay, and now we get to the biggest part of the battery saving portion. So a lot of you that have seen it before, you know it's coming. There are a lot of things here. So first off, let's go to these three dots right here and adjust some things. So first thing is going to be automation. You want to auto optimize daily. Basically what this will do is it makes sure that your phone is optimized and ready for you to go in the morning. It basically closes all things down so things aren't draining your phone or anything like that. And it's just a really great way to make sure that you have a fresh start at the fastest speed possible in the morning. So I just do it for 3 a.m. Then you also want your phone to restart at least once a week. If you have issues with past phones, it could be because you never restarted it. This actually makes sure that my phone is going to restart twice a week, I like to do, and it won't interfere if you have your screen on, if you're using your phone or anything like that. If it's not being used at 3 a.m. at these times is what I set it for, then it's going to auto restart, and in the morning I will have a phone that works much better than if I didn't do this. Now, adaptive power saving is something you can turn on, but it's a big no-no for me, and that's because everything that I've shown you to save battery life, I don't like to have it be much worse or lower the performance of the phone. So I don't turn it on. This will save you a good amount of battery life. When I tested it before, it was about an hour and a half. So it's a good portion more battery life, but for me, it just wasn't worth it because too many things were turned off and I just didn't like it. But if you do want to save a lot of battery life, you go over to here and you go to background usage limits. Now what this is going to do is we are going to put so many apps into deep sleep. Now what does this mean? This means that if you're not using the app, it goes to sleep. You do not need it to be ever turned on. Now, apps you would want to do this with are apps you may never use except for when you want to use them. So banking apps, apps that are like AR stuff, I don't need that to be on in the background. Food places, restaurant places, you might not ever need that to be on in the background. All of these apps will run in the background unless you put them here. So this will make it so that they're stopped and will not be able to be used in the background. Now, what are some apps you do not want to put on here? Well, anything like an email, like text messaging, like phone calls, anything that you need to have access to at all times and run in the background is very important. Say if there's something you need to run in the background like a tracking app, or if there's something you need to run in the background like a fitness app. Anything like that is going to be things that you want to never have on here, and you can even make it so that they are in the never go to sleep section. So for me, I always want my music to be able to play in the background. I want to be able to track my health. I want to be able to back up my photos without me needing to do anything. So these are ones that I would never put to sleep, and everything else will go in deep sleep. For me, probably when I'm done with this, I will have over 200 apps in my deep sleep portion that I do not need to be able to run in the background. And this will in fact save you up to 2 hours of battery life, depending on how many apps you put in here. All right, and the last portion is something we always do here. It is very important because it makes your overall phone move so much quicker because you have the time. It uses animations. So how do you do this? You go to About Phone, and then you go to Software Info, and then you tap Build Number repeatedly. Then you have to put in your password. And now we have developer mode turned on. And now on the same screen that we were before, we can swipe up a little bit more and developer options has appeared. What we're going to do here is very simple. You're going to scroll all the way down until you get to the drawing category. Drawing category is right here, and you're going to change these three things that say animation and scale to 0.5. 5. And this will make your phone move much quicker than it did before. It is so traditional, but it's something that just needs to be done so that you have everything set nice and easy and perfect. Now, the one last thing I do recommend is, depending on your carrier, where you bought this from, you might have apps on here that you do not want to use at all. So how you do that is basically get rid of them. Now, this can be for certain things like Samsung Global thing. I don't need that, so I'm gonna uninstall that. Spotify, I don't use, so I'm gonna uninstall that. YouTube Music is a lot better. Then uninstall PenUp, and if there is an app that you can't uninstall, you can typically disable it. So some apps will not let you uninstall it. Some carrier apps from like T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, they won't let you uninstall it, but you can disable it. Now that is still important because it doesn't take up what is called your RAM, your cache, and other parts of your phone. If you disable it, it does not run at all in the background. So that's a perfect way of making sure that you get the optimum battery life. All right, guys, now you are all set and ready to go. But make sure to come back and check out our hidden features video and how to take the best videos and photos as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Did you find this video helpful? Thank you as always for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you so much again for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. Also follow us on social media at YouTube Tech Guy, and check out some more great tech videos on your screen right now.